Ghislaine Maxwell's attorney continues to file to the Supreme Court, hoping they overturn her conviction, as you see behind me. They are hoping they will take action in her case, but Ghislaine Maxwell has a new hope as well. I am going to read a quote from her attorney. "No one is above the law, not even the Southern District of New York. Our government made a deal, and it must honor it. The United States cannot promise immunity with one hand in Florida and prosecute with the other in New York. President Trump built his legacy in part on the power of a deal, and surely he would agree that when the United States gives its word, it must stand by it. We are appealing not only to the Supreme Court, but to the president himself to recognize how profoundly unjust it is to scapegoat Ghislaine Maxwell for Epstein's crimes, especially when the government promised she would not be prosecuted. To be clear, the victims, multiple victims, have come forward and made it very public, very clear. Ghislaine Maxwell was physically involved in the abuse. I want to be very clear. She wasn't someone who just gathered the girls, as some seem to think. She was, according to them, physically involved, if you want to use the word, training them. All right? Just something to keep in mind as we continue. When Trump was asked about pardoning her, his response for days has been the same. I'm allowed to give her a pardon. Trump arranged a meeting with officials and Ghislaine Maxwell, which contained his political appointees, including his own former personal lawyer. Now, from my understanding, normally this meeting would have included a prosecutor from the case as a bit of victim representation, but Trump just happened to fire her before the meeting was announced. The victims haven't seemed very happy about this aspect, by the way, from what I've gathered. This should not be a shock to anyone, though. In 2020, when Trump was president, he was asked about Ghislaine Maxwell going to prison, and his response was, "Yeah, I wish her well." He was fully aware of her crimes, and he wished her well. Today, he also made the statement he never had the privilege of going to Epstein's Island, quickly following it up that he did actually get invited. Okay. Many on social media believe that to get out of prison, Ghislaine Maxwell might make a list of Trump's enemies and release that instead, and the Trump administration might release that instead of the Epstein files. Now, the question is, would she lie? Well, this is a woman facing a 20-year sentence for horrendous crimes. The only man who would consider pardoning her is currently the president, and there's a time limit on that. And she was accused of 2 counts of perjury in 2016, but it was dropped, I assume, due to her long prison sentence on these other charges. Now, Maxwell also left the meeting that she had with the officials carrying a box of some sort. And if it ends up being that Trump gave her a copy or any piece of the Epstein files before the public, that is going to be some new backlash that I don't think America's ready for. Now, many members of MAGA have said they will abandon Trump instantly if she is pardoned. The victims made it clear she was a physical participant in what happened, just like Epstein. They can't justify it. There's no reason she should be released. But that's not the only response you get. Some don't answer and instead respond with a question like, what if the list proves Bill Clinton was deeply involved? Because they think that's a gotcha. The answer to that is, Democrats don't have Bill Clinton hats, Bill Clinton flags, Bill Clinton cologne, Bill Clinton yard signs, Bill Clinton watches, Bill Clinton NFT trading cards, or an official Bill Clinton Bible. And let's just make everyone watching feel old as well. There is a significant portion of the voting population who doesn't know who Bill Clinton is and couldn't pick him out of a lineup. However, Trump has been the face of the Republican Party that they have since they were able to physically retain memories, think of how many years Trump has been running or president. He is, in their mind, the Republican Party. And those people that don't know Bill Clinton, oh, they know the story of Epstein. This is an absolute mess. This is a problem, and we still do not have the Epstein files released, obviously. Now, is the Supreme Court going to take action? Who knows? Is Trump going to take action? Who knows? He might be waiting for the Supreme Court, hoping that they do it, he doesn't have to, right? This is honestly the biggest true crime story of 2025. How couldn't it be? Think about it. Put politics aside of what side you might support. You have a woman with all of these horrible crimes with Epstein. Then we have files for Epstein somehow disappearing from the government. We have the Epstein associate claiming that the government went against a deal to convict her, so she was convicted by a jury of her peers. And then, oh, actually, it could have been I'm not sure if it was a bench trial. It could have been a bench trial. But then, the president of the United States himself might pardon her. Possibly to get a list of his enemies to distract from the fact that he might be in the files that aren't being released when they were campaigned on that they would be released. Like, this is something that if you put it in a crime thriller TV show, it would be too absurd. It wouldn't be greenlit. I mean, we have states, we have the federal government being accused of going against deals all the way to the Supreme Court. The president himself is possibly implicated. But I noticed a lot of true crime channels don't touch it. Very simple reason, right? There's a lot of crime in America that's political, right? A lot of crime in America is political. And a lot of people don't want to cover that because it can be divisive. And a lot of people don't want to cover it because you end up with some people that start defending the guilty party in some instances. This is going to continue. This is obviously not the last day this happens. I don't think I've talked about Ghislaine Maxwell in a while, but the fact that we now have statements where her attorney is specifically saying that they are reaching to the president. There's being meetings happening. It's going to be really interesting. And I mean, there is I'm just trying to put myself in the headspace, right? Like, there's been nothing that I have supported enough that I would wave flags on my house, signs up in my yard, and bumper stickers on my car, run around with a hat, right? Imagine you've done that for a decade, nearly a decade. And then that name, that symbol, becomes what freed Ghislaine Maxwell. That symbol becomes synonymous already right now with Epstein, with an Epstein cover-up. I will say, I know some people are backing him. Was it Elijah Banks? I don't know what she does, actor, singer. She's been trying to do some weird things about how 13 is okay, which is crazy. Someone I know, she had a man sexually abuse her on television, on a live broadcast, using an American flag. He was found guilty. He went on a YouTube live stream the other day justifying not Trump pardoning, not any of that, purely justifying Epstein. There are people doing it. How did they justify Epstein? Well, they justified Epstein by saying that at least the kids got hefty paychecks. And when they put that out, you might be thinking, well, at least no one's on their side. They had a chat of what, 30, 40, 50, something like that day. It varies. They had a chat on their side, agreeing, still backing him, still with him. So as much as there's going to be someone, I guarantee it, didn't watch the whole video, saying no one could possibly support Trump if he pardons her. Some of them are supporting Epstein. I will say personally, I've seen less Trump hats. I've seen less MAGA signs. I've seen people I know, like not personally, but like you see them, right? They're figures you see around at a store or whatever. They aren't wearing the hats. They aren't wearing the shirts. A couple of them you can see where bumper stickers have been removed. Most haven't. If he pardons her, let's just say I'm going to be very interested watching a lot of vehicles, a lot of lift kit trucks to see if they got some clean paint on the back end where some stickers were removed.